I'm Judith Blackstone. Today I'm going to give you a very short introduction to the realization process. The realization process is a series of practices for embodied non-dual realization, for embodied personal psychological healing and relational healing. It's a series of practices for uncovering in ourselves a very subtle dimension of consciousness, undivided expanse of consciousness. I call it fundamental consciousness in the realization process, but it is mentioned in Hinduism and Buddhism, has many names in the spiritual literature. Fundamental consciousness is experienced. We uncover it and experience it as an undivided expanse of consciousness, pervading both our individual body and our environment. And because it pervades our body and environment, it gives us both a sense of our internal wholeness, our whole being at once, and at the same time, it transcends our individual wholeness and gives us an actual experience of oneness between our own being and everything and everyone around us. As a psychological process, the realization process gives us a way to experience our whole being at once, our ability to think and to feel and to sense all at the same time, a real sense of self-ownership, self-possession, and also uncovers what appear to be innate qualities of our being. In other words, we don't create these qualities, we uncover them. The more we inhabit our body, the more we know ourselves as fundamental consciousness pervading our whole body, the more we experience these qualities, power in our belly, love in our chest, the actual experience, the feeling, what it feels like to have a voice, to have an intelligence, to have sexual experience. These are innate qualities of our being that become deeper and more tangible, more feelable as we progress in our realization. We also have a sense of authenticity. This fundamental consciousness, it's experienced as the ground of our being. We have a sense finally of having dissolved the filters, the social filters and so forth, and even having let go to some extent of the trauma-based constrictions in ourselves and limitations that we create in reaction to abrasive experiences or traumatic experiences as we're growing up. As we let go of those and we can contact ourselves more deeply, we know ourselves as fundamental consciousness everywhere in our body at once, we have a sense of becoming who we really are. And that's just a feeling. It has the impact of authenticity. As a psychological approach, it differs from many other body-oriented psychotherapies in that instead of focusing on the nervous system, the realization process focuses on the fascia, on a level of tissue that is everywhere in our body, that surrounds all of our organs, probably all of our cells, so that it enables us both to constrict ourselves deeply within our body and to let go of our grip on ourselves deeply within our body and our being. As a relational healing, this inner contact with ourselves as fundamental consciousness means that we experience oneness with another person or with nature without losing inner contact with ourselves, right? So fundamental consciousness pervading our own body and pervading the world around us and the other people around us enables us to experience deep contact with other people without losing inner contact with ourselves. It definitely uncovers a sense of interdependence. It's similar to many of the relational, the psychoanalytic techniques in that sense, uncovers the mutual influence that we have with other people that make up our fleeting sense of who we are. But underneath that, there's an ongoing sense of our of our authentic being. It may be that it's the same authentic being in everyone. That's a metaphysical issue that I can't address. But it gives us a sense of our ongoing authentic being that does not change, even when we are in relation to someone that we consider a child, someone we consider an authority. No matter what the situation, that ongoing experience of ourselves is unchanging. So in that way, we open up into an unchanging expanse. It's actually experiencing stillness pervading ourselves and other people. And then that way it does differ from the psychoanalytic techniques such as intersubjectivity theory. I generally don't introduce this work without teaching it, because if you don't experience, if you've never experienced fundamental consciousness, it's hard to believe it really exists, that we really can experience it. When I say it exists, I mean it exists as a potential experience, but it's a very odd experience in that we actually feel that we're made of fundamental consciousness, and we experience that the world around us is made of fundamental consciousness. So the exercises, the practices in the realization process can help give you that experience, so that you don't need to just simply take it on faith that that's possible, but you actually get a taste of it. Now, today I have just a very brief time to speak with you about this, so I'm just going to give you a little bit of taste of what that's like. And I'm going to begin with the difference between inhabiting the body and being aware of the body. Because in the realization process, we open the fundamental consciousness by first inhabiting the internal space of our body. And we do that so that when we do let go into fundamental consciousness, we let go not just from the surface of ourself, but from deep within our whole being. And in that way, oneness includes the internal space of our own being. It's not just something out there. So we start by inhabiting the body, and it's quite different than being aware of the body. So I'm just going to lead you through this very tiny glimpse of it in case this is a new experience for you. Rest your hands in your lap and begin by becoming aware of your hands. In becoming aware of your hands, you may notice how cold or how hot they are. You may notice how tense or how relaxed they are. And you may notice that you're noticing your hands in a kind of top-down procedure, that you're aware of your hands. Now enter into your hands. Let yourself experience that you're actually living within the internal space of your hands, that you're present there within your hands. See if you can feel the difference between being aware of your hands and actually living within them. So we begin in the realization process by actually living within the internal space of our body. Having done that, you may be able to feel that you can enter into your feet. And take a moment to let your breath adjust to being in your feet, if you can experience yourself there. Right? You may notice that your inhale lifts you up away from your feet. See if you can stay in your feet and breathe. And now in the same way, enter into your whole body all at once. In the actual realization process, we take around half an hour to do that. We go through the whole body. We uncover the qualities that are innate within the body. And then we find the space outside the body. So you can go ahead and do that. Find the space outside your body. And let yourself experience, if you can, that the space inside and outside your body is the same continuous space. You're in your body, but you're permeable in that way. And now the space that pervades you pervades your whole environment. Right? So that your own body is both solid and made of this pervasive fundamental consciousness, and everything around you, right? Even the space between you and the furniture, and even the furniture is both substantial, whatever its substance is, and appears to be made of fundamental consciousness, luminous transparency. If you can feel that, and as I say, we usually take quite a long time to get there, but if you can feel that, then take another moment to feel that you are that pervasive space of fundamental consciousness. It's not something separate from us. It feels like who we are. It feels like as fundamental consciousness, we know ourselves as fundamental consciousness. Okay.